With the Advantex subfloor assembly, you can be sure that you're building a reputation on something stronger. And the best builders, well, they may always stand apart, but they never stand alone. So ask yourself, are you bringing your A game?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Before the Build series. So Steve Basic Architect here, and today we get to talk about some fun stuff. We get to talk about the window schedule and how we get windows from Europe, the tilt-turn triple glaze windows that we used on this project here, and in the right rough opening, and how that whole team effort works. So starting with this team, we got Big Red. We got some drawings down here, so let's have at it, and let's talk window schedule today. All right, so this isn't any one drawing from the set of drawings, the construction set. It's actually a couple partial images. We have a partial floor plan image. You can see up at the top there. I extracted 3 of the windows from the window elevation schedule, and then I have the building elevation, because today we're going to talk about the basically the window schedule or window elevations, and how do we translate this information off to the manufacturer so that we know we're getting the right windows. And how does the builder know where those windows go, what size these openings are in the framing, and all of that good stuff, right? So starting out with that partial floor plan, you'll notice there's what we call window tags. So this is 1-1, 1-15, 1-2, 1-3, and 1-4. Well, it just so happens that those window tags are down here, 1-15, 1-2, 1-4. So that window and that window are obviously the same window, just drawn in plan, drawn in elevation. So in plan, we typically get the center of the window, right? So we come off the corner of the building, we go over the set distance there, I don't know, what's that, 8 feet, 6 feet there, and that gives us the center of that 1-4 window. Well, in the window elevations, we know that that's a 10-foot window. So we go basically 5 feet to each side to establish the jambs of that window. Now, also in the window schedule, we have the rough opening, so that a 10-foot window, and that's what we call the UD or unit dimension, will yield a 10-foot 1-inch Aarow, or I'm going to write these out for you, rough opening. And this is unit dimension. All right, so 10 foot. So you can see basically the opening is plus 1 inch from the unit dimension and the unit dimension. So this tells the framer that window 1, 2, which is this window here, is 10 foot wide. The opening is 10 foot 1, and that's what is it, 6 foot tall, so it's 6 foot 1 inch RO. And then that basically gives the framer the size or the hole in the wall. Now, the framer frames this up at 6 foot 1 high, 10 foot 1 wide. This information also goes to our window supplier, and they know that the unit dimension is a 10 foot by 6 foot window. And so they develop the whole window package for us. They send back a formalized window estimate that I then review. I compare all of the windows that they have drawn and outlined in their estimate to my window schedule, and I verify things like the size, the operation, all of that stuff, color, style, etc., etc. And then I sign off on that. And then they take that information and then they develop what's called shop drawings. And shop drawings are basically the stuff that gets sent to the fabricator where the windows are actually put together to look like windows. And so the shop drawings come back across my table. I review those again against my window schedule to make sure that all of the information is intact and working together and is in fact correct. And then I sign off on the shop drawings. Shop drawings get sent to the fabricator. Fabricator makes the windows, puts them on a container, because these windows here were made in Slovakia. They're European tilt turn, put in a container, and then shipped to Columbia, Missouri, where they were, shipped to probably Baltimore and then trucked inland on the container and then delivered there to where Jake and the guys at Aarow unloaded them and installed them in the opening, which is based on the rough opening that the framer used. So you can see, to basically put up these walls, get that hole in the wall, and then get the right window to fit in the right hole in the wall, it's pretty much a team effort, very collaborative effort, in that there's a lot of people that are checking and looking at this information to ensure that these things go right. And it's not necessarily only the size, because you can look at some of these windows here. You can see this one has a V, and it also has a line, dashed line like that. Well, those lines there signify the operation of the window. So this is a tilt turn, and it says TT down in the bottom here. And you can't see it here, but in these windows, they all have what their function is, and you can see it says TT there, it says FXD there for fixed, fixed there, fixed there. But the tilt turn means that the window turns on the hinge, which is on this side, but it also tilts in with a hinge at the bottom. So these arrows that you can see there, and there's some on this window here, same thing. And that, again, is a tilt turn window. You can see them there. I won't write over it because you can see it nice and clear there, but it says TT in the corner there for tilt turn. Well, basically what these lines do are they're point to hinge. All right. So if I point to this side, what I'm saying is this is the hinge side of the window, this is the strike side of the window. For the tilt-in option, the hinge is at the bottom, the strike is at the top. So that's the tilt turn. Obviously fixed means they don't move. Now, to make things further complicated, the European convention is to point to hinge from the inside. Our point to hinge in our typical convention here in the United States is point to hinge from the exterior. The European is point to hinge from the interior, which means it's exactly the opposite of the way the Aarow looks. But because you view them from the inside, it looks the same. So anyways, some small conventions there. When they first came out, and I did my first couple windows, all of their dimensions were in metric. And so I had to go to the window supplier and say, listen, I'm tired of doing the conversions. Can you please provide all the shop drawings and the window estimates in feet and inches as I have developed them for you? So they were kind and got that information out. But anyways, you can see windows, it's a scary thing. There's a lot of people that touch this information. There's a lot of people that are manipulating this information, have a hand in the information. And the biggest fear is that these windows come from Slovakia, they go to Columbia, Missouri, and we go to put it in the wall, and the window's a little too big or it's a little too small and doesn't quite fit that opening, and we have a problem. And we're trying to understand why. So There is a lot of effort that goes into getting this right so that, we didn't have a problem. And, like this project here, I don't know, we probably had about some like 28, 29 windows delivered, and they all fit exactly the way they should have fit. So it was a 100% correct job. So kudos to the team on that. Job well done. That's everything we're going to talk about window schedule. Stay tuned. We got a little slideshow here where we can look at some windows.